So, I mean, I guess it kind of begins with, the race for president is coming to a bit of a close now. I mean, if you can believe that. I mean, it feels like it's been going on forever, in my opinion, since May or whenever. I feel like May of last year, even I feel like this race has been just in the news all the time. I mean, which makes sense because that's when they were all declaring their candidacies, I guess. But it's been like a year and a half. And I guess I'll say, I mean, not to sidetrack too much right at the beginning, but if any presidential candidates, want to, I guess, think about how to be more appealing to people, or whoever's running these presidential races, can we please cut this down to like 3 months tops? Because I don't think many people were even following the race to like the debate back in June. So it's not necessary. Can we just cut this down a little bit? It's not. These presidential elections are just everyone's kind of they go on for way too long. Is there any way we can like streamline the process a little bit? I don't know, but anyway, as it nears the end, the candidates are doing some crazy stuff, and I guess an example of that, if you want to call it crazy or not or whatever, Donald Trump went to work at McDonald's the other day. So according to Al Jazeera, which is where I found some of this, Trump went to a McDonald's in Philadelphia, and I know it's in Pennsylvania, which is like a swing state, a really important state this election. But Philadelphia isn't exactly a city that's likely to swing to Trump, because most big cities are pretty liberal. So I think the particular city might be lost. So I'm sorry, it might be a bit of a waste of time already. But apparently, this event was actually prompted because Trump's trying to counter that Kamala's account of working at McDonald's, which he said before, which Trump is trying to claim didn't happen. Which I don't know. Well, you'd make that claim. I mean, a lot of people have worked at fast food places when they were younger, but Trump kind of doubts that, I guess. But I think it's kind of weird to focus on it because, I mean, if it did happen or it didn't happen, really, I mean, what difference does it make? I mean, yeah, obviously, if it didn't happen, assuming that's the truth, I mean, lying about it is not good. You shouldn't do that. But, I mean, Trump never worked at McDonald's, and we all know that. And, I mean, I don't think he ever worked at any fast food place. So it doesn't really seem that important to me, at least. But I don't know. Sometimes this kind of politics, saying those kind of things, do swing people over. So, I guess it makes sense why you talk about it at any rate. But nevertheless, Trump has repeated that he believes she never worked at McDonald's. So I guess to some people, that does actually matter. And anyway, so Trump went to work the drive-through actually, and he wore an apron over his shirt and like his collared shirt and tie. So a lot like a real McDonald's employee. And also, according to Business Insider, he worked there for 15 minutes, which is a bit longer. I mean, a bit shorter than most McDonald's employees, but I don't know, maybe not by much. No, maybe not by much. And I also thought it was interesting. I guess it was revealed somewhat recently. I wish I could remember the source for this one, although I think it's kind of accepted this is what happened, so it's not like anyone's claiming otherwise. That the McDonald's was closed actually, so it was more of like kind of a stage thing. It wasn't really working there, I guess, but glad to know he really like roughed it out there. And he also said, while on the job, I'm going to quote now, it requires great expertise, actually, to do it right and to do it fast. And I like this job. Well, I mean, maybe that's true. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I never worked at a McDonald's, so I don't actually know what it's like. Maybe it does actually require great expertise. I'm sure it's hard, because you're getting, yelled at, I mean, by customers. That's probably the hardest part, I would think, to be yelled at by stupid people. So I guess it is probably a hard job. But, you probably shouldn't, I don't know why you'd say you like it, though, because, I mean, I'm sure it's not all that fun when you do it, like, every day for hours on end without much of a break. And, that's sort of, I'm sure it's not really a fun job, it's always looked pretty hard to me. And, I mean, to be clear, I feel like it seems like I'm being a bit partisan here, like to attack Trump on this. I just want to make clear I'm not even really doing that because I hate when any kind of political figure does this thing. Because, Republicans, Democrats, they all do the kind of thing where they'll go and get down in the dirt with the normal people, if that's what you want to call us, I guess. And I don't like when any politician does it just because, like, none of you people know what it's like to be a real human being. I mean, if you were at one point, that was a long time ago. Because some of these politicians were, trained since birth to do this one day. So you people don't know what it was like to be a human being, or at least a lot of you don't. And those of you who do, I mean, your humanity was drained from you the second you walked into the Capitol and, took that oath of office. So don't pretend like you're one of us, okay? I mean, I don't like when people try to pretend they're like us because, I much prefer the approach of just kind of being honest. Politicians, when they're honest and just say, yeah, I mean, I'm nothing like you, and I I'm very happy that I have the advantages I have in life to be where I am. But I'm going to talk about how I'm going to fix things for you. But I'm not going to pretend that I am one of you because, like, no, you people, none of you are like me. And I mean, maybe that's a good thing in some ways that you're not like me because I could never get elected to public office. But you're not. Please don't pretend you're like we're all on the same level here. That you're like the politician who cares about me personally because you're not. So So please stop trying to make us think you're just like us. And again, I should probably not talk on this because on one hand, I feel like there's mixed things where some people look at these kind of things and actually do think, wow, they are the politician who cares about us. And I feel like at least half the country, though, kind of agrees. I mean, maybe they wouldn't put it as bluntly as me, but agrees with my position here that, that you people, we all see through it. You're not one of us. Because whether or not people like these photo ops or not, I mean, that is the truth. They're not one of us. And they haven't been for years. I know people make the argument, I guess Trump's more like a normal person than most politicians because he hasn't held public office until, a few years ago. But still, I mean, that's just my interpretation of the whole thing. So, that's kind of my problem. And so I guess to kind of wrap things up, that's what I've noticed, as with every election, this isn't a new thing where we're getting the politicians trying to, claim they're just like us. And in a few weeks, this will all be over, and you can, just to be clear, this isn't even a disavowal of like anything of any of these politicians' beliefs. If you want to vote for them, then that's great. You can't. I'm just saying I just don't like when they pretend they're like us because they're nothing like us, none of them. And I mean, I think all of us kind of see through that. So, vote for them if you want, support them if you want. That's fine. But let's just stop this whole charade here that you're like us, okay? Because it's not.